All you gotta do is mention tariff and the MAGA go crazy.
This is a tariff bill. I'm a little scared to open it, but let's see how much we owe. Oh my gosh.
Many Americans are in shock after receiving tariff bills in their mailboxes and inboxes. I'll be explaining where these charges come from, who pays, and what it means for families and businesses. Before that, let's first listen to the views of Americans concerning these bills. I'm your host Kisaka. Shout out to the original creators of these videos. Remember, these videos are for education and entertainment purposes only.
Listen, so I kept getting these emails from UPS, and I thought it was a scam because they was asking me for money, and I did not know why I needed to give UPS no money. So the UPS man shows up at my house yesterday, and he's like, hey, got a package for you. So I reached my hand out to get the package because I'm wondering why he didn't just put it in the mailbox. All right, great. He's like, hey, I got a package. It says Nike skirt. And I was like, oh, okay, I know what that is. That's what that is. And he's like, no, but I need 74. It says you owe $74.12. And I was like, I owe? He was like, yeah. So I went to go get my card. No card, checks, or money orders. Okay, cool. Come to find out, those emails were real. This is a tariff, $60 charge, and then $14 brokerage fee. So $74.12 on a $280 product. I thought he was good for the economy, y'all. I ain't ordering nothing from Hong Kong, China, or nowhere else. It's over. Tariffs are here.
I ordered a $99 item from Hong Kong, then FedEx demanded $180 more for months. Here's what happened. If you've been following along, you know that back in May, I ordered a clothing item for my daughter for her birthday. It cost $99. And then a few weeks later, I received a $180 bill from FedEx. This was a tax duty related to the tariffs that Trump put in place for that short period of time. I had sent a couple emails to their tax disputes, the duty and tax disputes, and the one that I sent on July 9th said, hi there, I received a very unexpected bill for $180.13 related to a purchase for my daughter. I'm wondering, number one, why was this bill sent after the item was received and in my possession? Had I known there would be these additional charges, I never would have purchased the item. And number two, is this bill a result of the tariffs by President Trump? And since those tariffs are paused, can you cancel the original charge? I got no response and then was issued another bill that they said was the final demand. So I sent another email. That email said, I've still not received a response on my July 9th inquiry. I also received another copy of the bill today. Can you please respond to my original request? These were not long emails. They were not super well researched, but still no response. I know some of you asked in the comments, did I ever pay the bill? What happened? But I was kind of waiting it out because I wasn't gonna pay it until I received a response from FedEx. Also, I was keeping my eyes open for if there was going to be a class action or something like that, because it struck me that this was completely unfair. For all the reasons we talked about in the former videos, that to buy something and then receive an unexpected bill in the mail that was twice the cost without any notice of this during the original purchase is completely unjust and unfair and against consumer protections. So then today I received an email this morning which said, Dear valued FedEx customer, thank you for contacting FedEx duty tax disputes. Invoice blank was canceled and billed to shipper. That's it. So thanks FedEx for canceling that $180 bill that I probably never should have gotten, but I have to wonder how many other consumers just paid these bills thinking that they were going to be sent to collections with these final demand notices if they didn't pay them. I've looked online. I have not seen any further updates from FedEx or in the news about them canceling other consumers' unexpected bills like this. So let me know in the comments if you have a similar story. Certainly as your state senator, I will do everything in my power to stand up for consumers, stand up to price gouging, do anything we can here in Georgia to blunt the impact of these chaotic Trump tariffs to protect consumers here in Georgia.
So we got something in the mail and I'm gonna open it with you all. This is a tariff bill. I'm a little scared to open it, but let's see how much we owe. Oh my gosh. We owe $294. I don't even know if it costs that much. We ordered a piece of equipment or a part for my husband's dirt bike from Canada. They've already delivered it. And then now we got sent a bill because of the tariffs. Oh my gosh.
I just got my first tariff invoice in the mail, and I didn't even technically order these products. So I'm a UGC creator, so brands are sending me products all the time so that I can make content for them to post. It's literally just the things that I need so that I can do my job for them. And this particular brand is based out of France, and they sent me a package of some collagen powder, and this package was valued at $32.78. And the tariff rate when they sent the package was 6.3%, meaning I owed $2.08 in tariffs on this package, which, okay, that's not that much. It's a relatively cheap package. But the brokerage fee that they're charging me on top of that is $14, meaning I owe $16.08, which is half the value of the package that they sent me. Additionally, I did not open this up soon enough, so I actually owe a 10% late fee on top of that. But I still feel like I'm getting off pretty lucky because, like I said, when they sent me this package, the tariff rate was only 6.3%, okay? And now on a package coming from France, it's 20%. So I don't really know if the brokerage fee or the disbursement fee changes with the value of the package or if it's always just $14. But what I do know is that if you are somebody that makes content and you are used to receiving packages, keep an eye out for these. Obviously, you can ask the brand to reimburse you. They might not. But also, looking at this, they didn't give me that much time to pay it. It looks like they invoiced me on March 21st, and this was due on April 1st.
So I just got hit with my very first tariff. So let's talk about it. As you guys know, I love Japanese eBay. I have been making quite a lot of purchases. And I literally made a video not too long ago about how so far I have not experienced any issues with like invoice or customs or tariffs. Well, I guess I spoke too soon because I just got hit with my first one. First off, a lot of my packages that I have been receiving from Japanese eBay have come through DHL. So I had assumed that if I did get a bill or a tariff, that it would be through DHL. That was wrong. So far, I did notice when I did get that one customs bill through DHL, they did send me a link to make the payment. This time around, it was different. So I received my order well over 2 weeks ago. Nothing came attached. I was not asked to sign for anything or pay for anything. And so I pretty much I didn't think that I had to pay anything. And now I check my mail and this is what shows up. It's pretty much mail from FedEx and it has my name, the invoice date, and the invoice number. And it pretty much says like the customs information. It mentions the seller, it mentions me, it mentions the item that I purchased, which was a used wallet. And it's listed here as cowhide leather. And it mentions how much I'm supposed to pay. It also mentions how much I paid for the item. So I paid $139 for the item, but that was not including taxes and shipping. So with everything included, I believe it was about $176. I got my item and then a few weeks later, I get this. So if you're wondering how much I have to pay in fees, it is $46.20. Which honestly, I'm not very happy about it, and I'll tell you why. When I purchased my Chanel bag, I knew that it was over $800, which is the threshold, and so I expected to pay custom fees on that. And when I did get the customs bill, it was under $100, which made sense. I'm buying something for $1,000, and my customs fees is under $100. So it kind of stinks to purchase something for $139 and have to pay $46. I think my customs fees for the $1,000 item was $76, $78, somewhere around that. So to pay $46 for an item that costs $139, I have a lot of feelings about that. But honestly, I believe that the reason why I got this bill is because this particular item came with the original box, the dust bag, the ribbon, you know, the whole nine. All my other packages that I have received have shown up in regular packaging, literally box and the wrapping paper, and that's about it. So I do know that customs, they do check the items, and I don't know if that was why I got this bill, but I have never received a bill for any of my other items. The only thing that sticks out to me again is the fact that this came with original packaging and everything else. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here quickly and share that because I did get a few questions in the past about if I've had to pay any fees or if any of my items have ever been returned. And I was very proud in that video to say that I had not paid any fees, but unfortunately here we are today and this is what I have to pay.
I keep seeing these videos of girls posting about ordering clothes and then getting a bill in the mail for like regarding tariff tax. And now I'm like in my head like, where have I ordered from recently, and like, am I gonna get these bills? Because I probably order more things than I should be. Don't come at me like, oh duh, did you know? Did you really know? Did you really know people were gonna get these bills in the mail? Come on. And no, I didn't vote for this, so I don't want to hear that either. But is anyone else getting nervous? Like, oh my god, where have I ordered from recently? And like, am I gonna get a bill like for $500 in the mail for a $100 shirt?
This may be a really stupid question, but I keep seeing more and more videos about the tariffs, so I just am curious because this is obviously going to be more and more common now. When you order something and it is sent here, people are getting the bills in the mail or the little tickets on the on your door, like from UPS or whatever, and it says you owe blah 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 for the tariffs. What happens if you don't pay the tariff and you don't ever get your package? Like, you just are like, fuck it, I'm not paying this. They can send, like, do they send the package back? Does it just get returned to sender? Do you still have to pay the tariff for bringing it into the country even if you send it back? Does that make sense? Like, are you still responsible for paying the tariff to get it here if you don't pick up the package and it gets shipped back? Will it get shipped back automatically? Is there an outbound tariff that you have to pay? I'm confused.
So do you remember how Donald Trump promised us that the cost of tariffs was going to be carried by foreign companies?
We're going to be a tariff nation. It's not going to be a cost to you. It's going to be a cost to another country. I'm not raising your taxes. I'm raising China and all of these countries in Asia and all over the world.
Cool story, right? Should we check the receipts now? Because S&P Global just dropped a new report, and oh dear, it seems like something got lost in translation. Big takeaways? Well, first of all, Trump's tariffs are going to cost $1.2 trillion in 2025. Trillion with a T. It's a lot of money, so who's going to pay it? Well, according to the report, about 1/3 will be borne by companies, and the rest by consumers. To put it another way, about 2/3 of that burden is going to fall on us, you and me. Because we've got so much extra money laying around, am I right? Oh, and actually, the S&P says their estimate is conservative. The report literally states, with real output declining, consumers are paying more for less. This 2/3 share represents a lower bound on their true burden. A translation, it's very likely it's going to be worse. And this data comes from 15,000 analysts tracking 9,000 companies. In other words, this is not a wild guess. This is happening. So just to recap, we were told that foreign companies would pay. The actual numbers are that we are paying double what companies are paying. And the White House is still out here claiming victory while your grocery bill gets higher. Make it make sense. Oh, that's right, you can't. Unless you're a billionaire. Because don't forget, unlike us, they got a tax cut this year.
All you got to do is mention tariff and the MAGA go crazy. They do. I mean, they are blowing me up. You're just a stupid old woman. You don't know anything about how tariffs work. You don't know anything. You just need to go back to the old folks home. You ain't nothing but an old queer. It's obvious they don't know how tariffs work. They know nothing about business. Because every time they take the time to watch one of these videos and then take the time to make their smart-ass comment, they're making the RPM on the video go up. And I make more money off the video. So thanks, MAGA. I'm not getting rich, but your smart-ass comment is probably enough to buy me a quarter of a caramel apple. So thanks, MAGA. I'm going to have a quarter of a caramel apple on you.
All right, y'all. I have received my first bill from FedEx for tariffs. Luckily, I've only been bringing in samples. I got like my last big order in before all of the tariffs, and this was just a sock sample that I got from China. I got 2 samples. And actually, I shouldn't even be paying for this because I'm not the importer. That was somebody else. But I also didn't have to pay for the samples because I think they messed up. Anyway, the total, by the way, it's like all wood. I don't know what happened in the mail. The total for this is only $7.08. They have it listed as a polyester blouse, which clearly that is not my demographic, nor what I ordered. It was 2 pairs of socks. I think that's what this is, because otherwise I haven't gotten any other samples recently that I can recall. So yeah, not bad, not annoying, but also just like, y'all really need that $7? Do you really need this $7? You want me to just buy you a Dunkin'? Like, do you really need that $7?
I just saw a video of a Trumper on here. You've probably seen it. And he's basically like, I voted for Trump. These tariffs are killing me as a small business owner. I need some help. Some Democrats in the comments are trolling him, of course. And someone commented like, I love this for you. And the Trumper replied via video. And he was like, oh, you love this for me, blah, blah, blah. What did you expect? We told you this, and we got called elitist. We told you the impact tariffs have on the economy, and you were like, you guys think you're so smart? This is basic knowledge. So the guy makes the video back, and he's like, I knew Trump was going to tariff. I thought it would push people to build in the USA. I'm going to explain this to you like you're 5. Have you ever watched Shark Tank, okay? And a product's on there, and the sharks go, why is it so expensive? And the person goes, it's made in the USA. Why do you think they say that? Everything's more expensive in the United States. That's why we get things internationally. And as a small business owner, I'm surprised you don't know that. You didn't think this would start a trade war, huh? Like last time? And last time was significantly less than all the tariffs he's doing this time. Like, you don't get to play victim, okay? You were warned, you ignored it. Now you're paying the consequences for voting without knowing how things work.
We did it, MAGA! We made America great again! Except for this. DHL and postal services around the world are suspending deliveries and shipments to the United States of America. Some of it has already started. Most of it will go into effect by Friday. This is by no means a complete list of countries that are suspending shipments of $800 or less to the U.S. This list is ever growing as the week goes on, but countries like Japan, Australia, Taiwan, UK, India, Thailand, South Korea, New Zealand, and all of Europe have already suspended DHL and postal shipments to the United States. Why, you may ask? You see, earlier this year, President Bonespur signed another one of his executive orders that suspended the de minimis trade agreement. The de minimis trade agreement allowed shipments coming into the U.S. $800 or less to enter the U.S. duty-free. Because this is going away on Friday, small businesses around the world are now going to be charged an extra $80 to $200 per shipment. Per shipment. It's a tax on small businesses across the world. And those small businesses, they can't afford an extra $80 to $200 just to ship something to the United States. So all these postal services around the world, including DHL, are like, screw it. We're going to suspend it and see what's going on here. Maybe President Bonespur will change his mind like he usually always does. But hey, you know, we're now just with other countries like North Korea and Cuba and every other communist fascist country who limit what is allowed to be shipped into their country. So if you are expecting a package from overseas not ordered through Amazon, and they're coming from one of these countries, you're probably not going to get it this week. Sorry, folks. And I would be remiss if I did not say congratulations to Miss Taylor Swift and Mr. Travis Kelce, who got engaged a few days ago. We are very big Kelce brother fans in this house. Here's Jason Kelce right here. My college teenage daughter loves Taylor Swift, saw her a bunch of times, loves all of her albums, her music. I sing some of Taylor Swift's songs from time to time. We love Taylor Swift. We love the Kelce brothers. And congratulations, you crazy kids. You are America's couple, and you are the distraction that we need from President Bone Spurs. We love it. Please don't ever break up, because if you did, millions and millions of Americans will have their hearts broken. So congratulations.
So most of the world has decided to stop shipping. They stopped their shipments to the United States, their imports. As of today, there are 33 countries that have announced that they have suspended their shipments to the United States due to the ending of the de minimis, which is a tax exemption, a duties exemption that allowed packages and shipments coming into the United States under the value of $800 to be duty free. That ended today. And before it could officially end, countries around the world had already started announcing that they're not shipping over here anymore. If you think that I'm lying, just head over to USA Today to look at the list of all of the countries that have announced that they are no longer shipping to the United States, all right? And just to give you a little idea, I'm going to read off some of the countries that are on this list. Australia, Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Denmark, Estonia, France, Germany, Greece, India, Italy, Japan, and the list goes on. See, the UN's Universal Postal Union, right, which deals with the postal servicing of 192 countries, came out and stated that the changes will entail considerably operational changes for postal operators all around the world. And when the agency, right, was questioned by USA Today, they stated that they couldn't announce the names of these countries that decided that they will be suspending their imports to the United States. But then these countries decided to start announcing it themselves. They just started coming out and telling you guys, yeah, we're not shipping to the United States anymore. This should be bigger news, but for some reason it's not really being broadcasted. And I wonder why, considering that we are all going to feel it. For all of you guys who kept saying that we weren't going to feel any of the effects of what Donald Trump was doing until after the 4 years, we're feeling it now. We're feeling it now. Let me just let you know what we're all about to start experiencing, okay? We're going to be dealing with the increased cost of consumers. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying this from the beginning, but now you're really going to start feeling it. When you walk into those stores and you see that the prices actually jumped considerably, then you're going to start to realize the severity of what everybody was trying to explain to you guys. In addition to that, we're also going to be dealing with the impact on small businesses, okay? Essentially causing a lot of them to shut down. Why? Because the higher costs in operations, or it's going to take to operate their small business, as well as the loss in international consumers, okay? You're also going to have to deal with regulation changes. Now that all of these countries have decided to take a pause in shipping over to the United States, who's to say that they're not going to change how they deal with shipment and how they deal with tariffs? And overall, the trade relations is about to change in a way that a lot of us can't even handle. I'm going to be so honest with you. So yeah, all that talk about we're going to feel it in the 4 years, we're not going to really feel it right now. No. We're feeling it now.
So thank you guys for staying tuned. I think we should start by first understanding what tariff is. A tariff is a tax that a country places on goods that come into its borders. Think of it as an extra fee charged when a product crosses a national line. Legally, importers pay that fee to customs when the goods arrive. In practice, the cost really stays with the importer. Most often, businesses pass the added cost down the chain. Importers add it into their invoices. Sellers raise retail prices. Sometimes firms absorb it and take a smaller profit. That means regular people pay the tariff indirectly when they buy goods, or even indirectly through higher prices for services and goods that use imported parts. Another way to see it is a tariff is like a tax on a part used in building a product. If that part gets more expensive, the finished product usually does too. Tariffs can also affect wages and jobs. When companies pay more for parts, they may reduce hiring, cut benefits, or raise prices. The net effect depends on how big the tariff is and how many goods are affected. Tariff effects arrive with a lag. Goods already on ships or in warehouses before a tariff was announced won't face the new charge. The next shipment will. That lag creates the moment when bills suddenly appear. Some businesses choose to list a tariff surcharge, on customers' invoices to be transparent. Others fold the cost into higher regular prices. Both make the effect visible to consumers. The first just makes the cost clearer. If you run a small business that imports parts, expect accounting changes. You may receive a customs invoice, a supplier surcharge, or a higher price from your vendor. In short summary, tariffs are taxes on imports. Importers are billed first, and consumers often pay last. The timing and visibility vary with company choices and supply chain timing. Basing on the recent policy moves and explaining on the timeline, a short timeline of how policy decisions become household bills is that it normally starts with the government announcing new tariffs. This is what Mr. DT did. And after the government announcing new tariffs, customs updates the duty rates, and then importers gets charged as shipments clear customs. Companies then update pricing on the next set of sales or explicitly add a surcharge. Not every policy change hits every product. Some goods are exempted or phased in, but broad policies that target many products categories create wide effects. Political messaging around tariffs usually emphasizes protecting domestic industries and jobs. The economic reality often shows mixed results, including higher costs for consumers and firms that use imported inputs. Tariffs aimed at reciprocity or matching other countries' taxes create particular results. They target goods where the US faces foreign barriers or where policymakers think the US needs leverage. When those tariffs are broad or sudden, businesses need to make quick decisions, absorb the cost, pass it to the consumers or customers as higher prices, or add a separate labeled surcharge. You may be wondering, why are these bills showing up right now? It is because the shipments that entered the supply chain after the policy took effect have to pay the new duty. That's when importers get invoices and either file the cost to customers or to their own accounting teams. Retailers with tight margins may add a line item on invoices to keep customers informed and to preserve transparency with partners and suppliers. Timing matters. If an importer had inventory bought before the tariff, prices won't change until that inventory is sold. When that old inventory runs out, the new costs appear. Companies in long lead time industries like automobiles and electronics show effects sooner because their supply chains are global and parts move through many hands. In short summary, the policy to bill pipeline is announced first, and then we have the customs duty is updated, and then the importers get their invoices, and most of the companies now start to come up with the pricing decisions, and consumer payment takes effect. The shock happens when that pipeline completes for many items at once. I have some concrete examples on how the tariffs affect daily lives. Example 1. Imagine cars and parts. When tariffs raise the price of imported parts of raw materials like certain metals, production costs rise, and automakers decide whether to raise vehicle prices or absorb the costs. If the automaker raises prices, the new amount shows up as higher sticker prices and financing payments become larger for buyers. Example 2. Consumer electronics. Small parts sourced globally move through multiple suppliers. A tariff on any of those parts can ripple into a higher final price for phones, laptops, or accessories. Example number 3. Household goods and furniture. Many furniture pieces use imported components. A tariff can add to the wholesale price and then appear on customer invoices or at checkout. Example number 4. Small businesses that import parts. A local repair shop or manufacturer might receive a customs charge and then either raise service fees or delay purchases to absorb costs. How a tariff bill might arrive. A notification from a supplier listing a new surcharge, a higher invoice from a shipping company, or a labeled fee on a retail receipt. A realistic shopping example that I can give is that a household shopping for new appliances sees a tariff such as line or a higher listed price. The difference might be tens to hundreds of dollars depending on the item. Some people are surprised because many tariffs are coded into business-to-business invoices and not explained in consumer-facing language. So seeing a clear tariff bill is new for many shoppers. This is has been clearly indicated from the videos that we've just seen, where most of the Americans are wondering about the tariff bills. And it is a surprise to many, because many of those who are surprised, or most of the videos circulating, you'll discover that majority of them are MAGA supporters. They supported Mr. DT. They voted in for Mr. DT. At that time, Mr. DT was saying that when elected, the tariffs were not going to affect Americans, and it's turning out to be a lie, because most of the Americans are being affected. Real-world reporting has shown companies noting tariff impacts in earning and adjusting consumer prices. Companies, in most of the news, it is written, companies reported higher costs and adjusted prices. These tariffs touch many categories. The visible shock comes from explicit surcharge or sudden price jumps after inventory cycles completes. So let's look at who benefits and who loses. Winners in the short term tend to be domestic producers that compete with imported goods. When imports get pricier, domestic alternatives can sell more or raise prices themselves. Losers often include consumers who pay higher prices and businesses that rely on imported components because their input costs rise. Exporters can also lose when trading partners retaliate with their own tariffs. That retaliation raises costs for US exporters and can reduce demand for American-made goods overseas. Net economic effects depend on scale. Small targeted tariffs might help certain industries. Large or broad tariffs usually cause more widespread cost increases. For workers, the effect varies. Some may gain work if a previously low-cost import is replaced by domestic production. Others may lose if downstream industries shrink due to higher input costs. Financial markets and corporate profits can be affected. Firms with tight margins are more likely to report reduced profits if they cannot pass costs fully to consumers or the customers. In short summary, benefits are concentrated, costs are broad. That's why policy debates over tariffs are often intense and divided. Looking at the political and diplomatic fallout, the tariffs change international relationships. Trading partners may respond with their own measures to protect domestic industries. This is evident from the time Mr. Trump imposed different tariffs in different countries, especially a country like China, and they retaliated with also coming up with their different tariffs. This retaliation can target exporters in sensitive industries, which means more American jobs could be at risk in cities and towns that export goods. Long-term effects include shifting supply chains. Companies may move production to countries not affected by tariffs or nearshore to avoid duties. Domestic politics are complex. Tariffs can be popular in specific regions where protected industries are dominant. They can be unpopular in places where consumers see higher prices. Lawmakers often face trade-offs. Protecting a local industry now may cost many voters more in everyday expenses. Policymaking can include exemptions and carve-outs. Those choices can soften the immediate blow but also create lobbying pressure and uneven effects. So tariffs, in short, tariffs are political tools with diplomatic and economic consequences that extend beyond immediate price changes. Let's look at the myths and the facts about tariffs, especially affecting the ones that are affecting the United States. So one of the myths is that tariffs are paid by foreign countries like China and etc. The fact is that tariffs are collected at the border from importers and usually passed down to domestic buyers. Another myth is that tariffs always bring back manufacturing jobs quickly. The fact is that sometimes jobs can increase in certain sectors, but other jobs can be lost in sectors that use imported parts or face retaliation. Another myth is that tariffs solve inflation. But the fact is that tariffs often raise prices on targeted goods and can add to inflationary pressure. Another one is that tariffs are simple and immediate, but the fact is that the effects are complicated with lags and varied pass-through to consumers depending on contracts and inventories. Also, another fact is that transparency matters. When companies label such lines, consumers can see the cost. Lack of labeling makes it hard for voters to link policy choices to price outcomes. Also, it is fact that supply chains adapt. Over time, businesses may change suppliers or move their production. Those adjustments take time, investment, and often new costs. Beware of simple slogans. Tariffs have mixed effects and clear trade-offs. These are some of the policy alternatives and practical moves that I think if the Mr. DT government can employ, it will help its citizens. So, option 1, targeted exemptions. Government can exclude certain goods from tariffs to protect consumers or industries most at risk. Option number 2, or alternative number 2, negotiation and agreements. Diplomacy can reduce trade barriers without broad tariffs, using talks and reciprocal deals. The third option should be strategic relief and rebates. Short-term relief can help households and businesses while longer-term adjustments occur. Option 4, investment in workforce and reshoring incentives. Building capacity at home can be a longer-term response to import competition. Option number 5, transparency in all its operations. Requiring clear labeling of tariff surcharges helps voters connect policy with price effects. There are tools besides broad tariffs that can protect industries while limiting harm to consumers. These are some of the concrete lessons to Americans. Lesson number 1, Americans need to read invoices and receipts. If a company lists tariff surcharge, save that and ask for details. Record the amount and the date. Concrete lesson number 2, Americans should understand their exposure. Or you as an American, you should need to understand your exposure. You should think about the items you buy most, be it electronics, furniture, appliances, cars, or whatever. Track prices, the change in prices over time. Also, for small businesses, you should diversify suppliers. Look for domestic or nearshore alternatives and compare total landed costs, not just sticker prices. Another concrete lesson is to push for transparency. Ask companies to explain how much of a price rise is due to tariffs and ask elected officials for clear reporting. Another lesson is about budgeting. Delay non-essential purchases. Choose used goods. Buy local when price is efficient and monitor monthly bills for changes. Another lesson is for civic action. Americans need to contact their representatives. The Americans should present concrete receipts if they want policy changes and ask for measured solutions that balance job and prices. Also, Americans should stay informed. Watch corporate earnings, commodity price reports, and local businesses' bulletins for early warnings of shifting costs. Tariffs are a policy choice with trade-offs. Knowing the facts and documenting real impacts makes citizens more effective when advocating for change. This is a call to Americans to keep receipts. If you're American, you need to talk to your suppliers and make your voice heard in policy conversations. Thank you guys for watching this video. If this video has helped you understand why those tariff bills appeared in your mailbox, share it and stay alert. If you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly do me the favor of subscribing and also leave your sweet comment. See you next time. God's blessings.